When we imagine the fall of Rome, most of us picture the same scenes. Barbarians pressing against the walls, legions falling apart, emperors poisoned inside massive palaces. But the real truth is this: empires rarely collapse that way. Real collapses don't begin outside, they begin inside. And one of the most corrosive forces behind that internal decay is always money. Rome didn't disappear just because of sieges. It vanished because it destroyed the value of its own currency. And this story is still relevant for anyone who believes they can manipulate money without paying a price. Let's go back to the beginning. For centuries, the Roman economy revolved around a single coin, the silver denarius, first minted around 211 BC. This coin was nearly pure silver. The Roman people trusted it. Soldiers were paid with it. Merchants demanded it. Ordinary people saved their wealth in it. The denarius wasn't just a coin. It was trust in Rome itself. The logic was simple. As long as Rome was strong, its money would be strong too. But there was a problem. Running an empire was far more expensive than it looked. Legions had to be paid. New roads built, aqueducts constructed, borders defended. By the 2nd century AD, Rome was under strain on every front. Taxes were no longer enough. Raising taxes further would have risked social unrest. So emperors turned to a method we all recognize today: debasing the currency. They slowly reduced the amount of silver in the denarius. Under Augustus, the denarius was about 95% silver. Under Caracalla, it dropped to around 50%. By the mid-3rd century, it fell below even 5%. The coin looked exactly the same, but inside, it was hollow. People noticed quickly. Prices began rising rapidly. What once cost 1 denarius now cost dozens. Soldiers started demanding higher wages, saying, "We can't survive on this money." Merchants refused to accept it. Ordinary people returned to barter because the denarius no longer inspired confidence. So what did the state do? It printed even more money, and that only made everything worse. Rome entered the crisis of the 3rd century between AD 235 and 284. For nearly 50 years, the empire suffered from plagues, revolts, civil wars, and economic collapse. Emperors rose to power and were killed within months, but the core problem never changed. Money no longer worked. Farmers abandoned their land. Taxes were collected in worthless currency. Trade collapsed. The state desperately tried to fix prices and force people to work. The most famous move came from Diocletian. In AD 301, he issued the edict on maximum prices. Thousands of goods were given price ceilings. Those who violated them faced the death penalty. The result: black markets exploded. Official trade nearly stopped, because you cannot make money valuable by law alone. Eventually, Rome gave up on the denarius. Constantine introduced the solidus, made of pure gold. It worked for centuries in the Eastern Roman Empire, but the Western Roman Empire had already crossed a point of no return. The economy was gone, the army was fractured, and trust had vanished. Rome did not fall in a single day. It slowly hollowed out, and the greatest cause of that hollowing was money. So what does this story tell us today? This: the collapse of money is always the collapse of empires. Rome thought it could deceive its people. Modern states do the same, only the methods differ. Today, instead of debasing metal, we print money, manipulate interest rates, and erase debt through inflation. But the cost is always paid by the same people. This story did not end with Rome. In Weimar Germany, a loaf of bread cost billions of marks. In Zimbabwe, prices changed daily. And every time debtors won, holders of real assets got richer and wage earners were crushed. We may not be pushing wheelbarrows full of cash today, but our purchasing power is shrinking every year. When the dollar severed its link to gold in 1971, the system fundamentally changed. Money became based entirely on trust. And as history shows us, trust cannot survive unlimited spending forever. Governments present inflation as growth. They sell debt as investment. They want us to believe that rising stock markets mean everyone is getting richer. But the truth is simpler. It's the same money. It just buys less every year. What's dangerous today is that this is happening globally. It's no longer one country. The entire world is built on debt and fiat money. And when trust weakens, the consequences will be felt everywhere. So what should you do? 1. Inflation is not an accident. It's a policy, an invisible tax. 2. Real wealth is not on paper. It's in things that create value: land, skills, resources. 3. Never assume this system will last forever. Romans never believed their money would become worthless. Germans never imagined paying billions for bread. But history tells us one thing clearly. When money collapses, everything collapses with it. Barbarians at the gates may deliver the final blow, but what truly kills an empire is what's inside the treasury. If this video gave you a different perspective, subscribe.